Welcome to Taxonomy Online Mathematics. I am your teacher for today, Gapo Fred. Episode 1, we want to take the end of semester exam for Osu Presec, their core maths, and take some of the OBJs and see how best we can solve them. We can provide solution to those questions. So the first one we are faced with, we have if 2 divided by x minus 3 minus 3 divided by x minus 2 is equals to p divided by x minus 3 multiplying x minus 2. We have to find the value of p. So this simply means that the left side is also equals to what? The right hand side. So if you solve the left, whatever we get is assumed to be the same as what is on the right hand side. So first we take the left hand side, and we are seeing that there are 2 fractions. Normally if you are asked to solve a fraction, we find the LCM, and here the LCMs are not figures but they're rather what? An algebraic expression. So in an algebraic expression we multiply the 2. We can't get one single factor, or we can say a multiple. So we take the multiplication of the 2 as our LCM. So we can have x minus 3, x minus 2 as the LCM. So each of the term divide them. So when x minus 3 goes there, it cancels itself, remaining x minus 2 as a factor, which will multiply 2. So 2 will multiply x minus 2 minus this will also come and divide the LCM, cancelling itself, remaining what? X minus 3 as a factor, which will multiply our 3x minus 3. So this will be the simplification if we are to find the LCM. Alright, so we can see that they are all now sitting on one denominator. So now we operate on the numerators to see if we can get a simplified form of that. So we expand the bracket. So 2 will multiply x to give us 2x. 2 times the 2 will give us 4, minus 3 times x will give us 3x, minus 3 times minus 3 will give us what? 9 as positive. Still dividing our x minus 3, x minus what? 2. So now we can see that the numerators are having some kind of what? Like terms. So we can group them together so that we can simplify them. So in this case, we have 2x minus 3x minus 4 plus what? 9. So our x minus 3, x minus 2 still remain the same. So now if you are having x having a coefficient of 2 and the same x has a coefficient of 3, we only take the coefficient so that we multiply by the x as a final answer. So 2 minus 3, that will give us minus 1. So when minus 1 multiply our x, it gives us what? Minus x. Then minus 4 plus 9. Minus 4 plus 9 will also give us what? Plus 5. In a sense that we can say that 9 as a positive minus what? 4. So we can get our positive 5. So x minus 3, x minus 2. So we can see that there is no other way we can simplify this. We can rewrite it anyway as 5 minus x over x minus 3, x minus 2. But we can't simplify the numerator again. So in this case, we can say that our p is actually what? 5 minus what? X. We are asked to find the value of p. So in this case, we can see that the new denominator is the same as what we have, and the numerator should be the same as what we are having as p, in order to say that the left hand side is equals to what? The right hand side. So all we are asked to find is to find the value of the numerator, which is our p. So in this case, the answer will have been 5 minus x. Okay, the next question is also indices. We have to solve the equation 256 exponent x plus 1 is equals to 8 exponent 1 minus x squared. So we can see that the variables are our exponent. So we equate the bases to be the same. So we break 256 and 8 into the same base. And we can say that here we can break it into 2 times 2 times 2. So therefore, this can also be in base 2. And that will give us 2 exponent 8. 2 exponent 8 is given as the 256. But the 256 already having an exponent. So that exponent will multiply the exponent we get from the 256. This is equals to, this will also be given as 2 exponent 3, already multiplying 1 minus x squared. So we know in indices, we said if the bases are the same, we equate the exponent. So now we are going to equate the exponent, which will be 8x plus 1 is equals to 3x minus x squared. 1 minus x squared. So now this become a linear equation. We need to expand the bracket. So 8 times this will give us 8x. Then we have plus 8 equals to 3 times this will be minus 3x squared. Alright, so we are seeing that we are having x to the power of a degree of 2, a degree of 1. So right away we can see that we are gearing towards a quadratic equation. So we group all together at one side. So I can say that I will send all this to this side, if that will be the case. And I'll be having 3 minus 3x squared minus 8x minus 8, all equals what? 0. I maintain this and I transpose this from here to the other side. So it's going to be minus 8x will come to this place. Then this will come here, so minus 8. In other sense, we are having 0 equals to this. It is the same as all of this equals 0. So we can say x is 1. Constant 3 and 8 will also come together. So we are going to have minus 3x squared minus 8x minus 8 plus 3 equals what? 0. I think this can also be simplified. So we have minus 3x squared minus 8x. This will be minus 5 equals 0. Why minus 5? We are having minus 8 plus 3. Or it is 3 minus 8. Since the 3 is less than 8, we get a negative value. So we can rewrite this as in multiplying both sides of the equation by negative 1. If we do that, then that will give us 3x squared plus 8x plus 5 equals to 0. So this becomes a quadratic equation whereby we need to find the values of x, whether it could be one value or 2. Since we are having x exponent 2, the values will be 2. So we are going to use the coefficient of x squared times this. We know this is in the form a x squared plus b x plus c. Any quadratic equation in this form, we multiply the a and c. We find the factors of a and c. When we add, we get what? B. So we find those factors. So in this case, I am multiplying 3 by 5. I'll be having 15. What are the factors of 15? If I add, I should be able to get what? 8. And I think 3 and 5 multiplied to give me 15. If I add 3 and 5, I will also get what? 8. So this means that this, we are changing the 8 with what? 3 plus 5. 3 plus 5 is 8. But 8 is already having a variable of x. So we multiply it. We know when they expand, the 3 will take the x. The 5 will also take what? The x. So in this case, we have 3x squared plus 3x plus 5x plus 5 equals what? 0. So a quadratic equation of 4 terms. We group them first 2 and the last 2. So 3x squared, 3x in one bracket, 5x, 5 in another word bracket. Now what to do is that we are going to factorize. So we find the common factor belonging to the 2 terms in the first bracket. We can see that 3 is common to them, and we can also see that x is common. Anytime we are doing factorization involving variables, we look at their powers. We pick the term with the smallest power. So you can see power of 2, power of 1. So we pick the x. So in this case, we have 3x. A factor will multiply this to give us back our question, and that will be only x. Some factor have to multiply 3x to give us 3x, and I believe that will be 1. Common factor for 5x and 5, we can say there's no variable here, so the only factor is what? 5. 5 multiplied by x will give us our 5x. 5 multiplied by what? 1 will give us our 5. So we can see that this is also one term. They still have a common factor. So if they have a common factor, I pick that common factor out. This is their common factor. What multiply this to give me the first term? And that will be my 3x. What multiply this? X minus x plus 1 to give me back this. And that also be what? Plus 5. All equals to 0. So here, what do? If you're having 2 terms, that is a, b equals to 0, it means that either a is 0 or b is 0. So if I have 0 as a multiplied by b, I get 0. If a is a constant, multiplied by o as 0, b as 0, I still get 0. So that means the first term is equal to 0, or the second term is also equal to what? 0. So that means x plus 1 is equal to 0, or 3x plus 5 is equal to 0. So we send the 1 as positive to the other side to give us x equals to -1. Then from here, we send this out. So we have 3x equals to -5. But we are looking for x, not 3x. So we divide both sides by what? By our coefficient of 3. So we have 3x over 3 equals -5 over what? 3. So I think the value of x from this will be x equals to -1 or -5 on what? 3 will be our final answer. So this will be the 2 values of x, for which if you put into the equation, both sides will be what? Equal.